Hello, this is Steve from Retroman Blog, and welcome to episode 48 of Retrosonic Podcast. And I'm pleased to welcome into the virtual studio Mr. Brett Buddy Ascott of The Chords, The Fallen Leaves, The 79ers, Speakeasy, Meat, and many others.
Yes.
Too numerous to mention. Hello, Buddy.
Hello, Steve. Very nice to be back in your illustrious studio. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. It's amazing how I've made it look like your front room, isn't it?
It does look very much like my front room. It's almost an exact replica.
Yeah, I do that for all my guests, just to make them feel comfortable, So welcome, Buddy, and
the lovely crop of tomatoes you have as well.
Yes, indeed, yeah. I even got it down to your jungle outside. It's like a jungle out there. Tomatoes. Well, it's nice to get back together for a catch-up. I thought we'd have a chat because I know you've got a few things in your very busy diary that we can talk about, and I've been to lots of gigs as well that we can mention. So first of all, Buddy, tell us what have you been up to?
Well, we have just the 79ers, who, as you may or may not know, consists of Simon Stebbing on guitar, Ian Jones on bass from Long Tall Shorty, and Kip Herring from The Chords, and me from The Chords, and we do a selection of songs by those groups, plus some covers by The Who, Small Faces, the usual suspects. And we finally got round to releasing a live CD, which is the only logical thing to do because we don't do new material. It is purely a nostalgia thing. So it's got a limited sort of shelf life and a limited audience, I guess. But we've recorded 3 shows in Edinburgh, and Leon in Spain, and Guildford.
Yeah.
And we've taken the best of those 3 shows and compiled a live album.
Oh, great! Yeah, because I think quite a few people have asked if you were going to do some new material and if there were, if you were going to record anything. So rather than go back and revisit some of the old songs in the studio, you've just done the live.
I wouldn't see
recording.
the point of that. I really wouldn't see the point. But the basis of the CD is the performance in Edinburgh at the Liquid Rooms last October, and it was the 3rd of 3 nights. And I've got to say, when you play a lot, you do tighten up and you do get more muscular and more proficient, possibly. So it's very good performance. Sonically, we haven't been able to do an awful lot with it because it's just come off the soundboard.
Okay.
So we've managed to EQ it and do a bit of jiggery pokery, but there's not a lot production-wise. But, it is that old adage, it is what it is, and if you like those songs, I think you'll like this CD.
Fantastic. And who's released the record?
Ed Dizzy at Detour has released it, so it's available mail order.
Yeah.
But we've got some live shows coming up, mainly Brighton at Chalk, Bank Holiday Friday, which is the 26th of August.
Okay.
Playing with the Circles, the 48Ks, and the Veras. And it's quite an early show. It closes at 10.
Yeah.
And then there's an after show party at a nearby venue. So that would be a good place to get a copy signed. We will have signed copies of it there. And we're also playing Dundee in October. It's a scooter festival. And we're also playing Portmeirion with the Vapors in November.
Yeah. Because you did quite a successful mini tour with the Vapors, didn't you?
Yeah. So we've got to get back in the groove for Brighton. And then we're off again. Yeah.
Well, it sounds good. So we'll put links at retromanblog.com. The corresponding feature will be there, and we'll put a link to where you can order it from Detour. I guess that's where you can get it from, is it? Or do you have another special Bandcamp site or anywhere?
No, we don't. No, we don't. We did a deal with Dizzy, and we're letting him have a free crack at it for a couple of months, selling them online before we try and sell them at shows. Yeah. So that was the deal. It's fine. He's a fair man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's pick a track from the album. I'll leave it to you to decide which you prefer. And
well, we had limited time. When we were supporting the Vapors, we just did originals. So we just did Chords, Purple Hearts and Long Tall Shorty songs. So it should be one of those. And obviously I'm biased, so let's hear a Chords song.
Just get a feeling, crazy dreams inside. People hiding, wearing uniforms, screams of laughter, shots you ride. Pointing fingers and questions why. Scared people with their lives all told. Real sounds from the streets, from the towns. Sometimes I watch and wait for signs of voices and screams. Dreaming now it's just a funny joke. Can this all be just a dream? Well, now it can't be, it's too obscene. That's when I see you staring at me. A real sound from the streets, from the towns. Silent footsteps, whispers on fire. It's too late, deadly underground. Cause we saw you, surely not this time. Yes, we saw you. You were wearing a uniform. You were wearing a uniform. Imagination, real sound from the streets, from the town. Sometimes I go on silent and lose ourselves sometime. Hating eyes and asses floats. Where and when the sun don't shine, when the times don't black or white, that's when I see you staring around. Real sound from the streets, from the towns. Silent footsteps, whispers unfound. It's too late, the deadly underground. Reality, I just lies from those who talk with legs. Be good now, jump to nothing. Cause if you do, bang, 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 you're dead. Hey, thank you.
Well, that sounded fantastic. That was the 79ers and their take on the Chords classic Maybe Tomorrow. And that was recorded at the Edinburgh show, was it, that you were talking about?
Liquid Rooms, enormous venue, not fully populated, I could say, that evening, but it was a very good night.
Well, it seemed like you managed to capture the energy of the live shows there with the recording. So.
That's what it's all about, really. Bit of spirit.
Yeah.
Spirit of 79.
Yeah. Well, it's great, and that's probably our favourite year, isn't it, 79?
It's up there. It's up there in the top one.
Yeah, it's got to be up there. Even for me. Yeah. Well, I mean, talking of the Chords, which segues nicely into my next section, is I saw the Canadian band The Gruesomes, finally, who originally formed in the sort of early to mid-80s in Montreal, in Canada, and never played in the UK before. until a couple of weeks ago.
Never played here before?
No, never played over here ever before. And they played their first UK show after they sort of reforming a few years back. And that was courtesy of Weirdsville, so Mr. A and Alex, a great crowd, as you know.
I was very sad to miss it.
Yeah, and it was a shame actually because they were looking forward to meeting you because I did a great interview with the guys, which you can hear, a Retrosonic podcast special with the Gruesomes, talking about their history, picking out some of their favourite music and influences as well. And, I was expecting to talk to them about real garage classics and nuggets and 60s psych and all that, the usual stuff. But they surprised me because we ended up talking about that era when I was a kid, listening to all the different sort of stuff around in the early 80s. Saying I was into sort of so many things like the 79. Obviously, the 79 era was my favourite sort of period. And they said, we were into mod revival over in Montreal, and we loved the chords. And I said, that's funny. I said, well, I'm a pal of Buddy Ascott. And they went, Buddy Ascott of the chords, Buddy. And of course, they were made up. They were huge fans, as we're going to hear now.
And I think that we had that too, and that would be one of the things. Also, the Prisoners for us. Bob and Jerry and I were very much into mod stuff when we were in high school. We liked all the chords and the Purple Hearts and the Jam and all that stuff. So the Prisoners sort of fit a bit into that category, but then they were doing something more American and psychedelic, and we were all big Prisoners fans.
And the chords you mentioned, I've done podcasts with Buddy from the chords.
Yeah, he does the wow. Buddy Ascott.
When I was I think 15, I went to the UK and I was trying to find the chords album and I couldn't find it. So later, my cousin lived in London. He mailed it to me by old mail, and that was the only copy in Canada for it.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's funny that a lot of those old records we used to have of 45s of the Purple Hearts and all that stuff I got rid of over the years, and I recently purchased a massive collection of mostly mod records and got all of the ones back that I got rid of years ago.
Yeah, including Mod's Mayday 79 with the misprint on the cover.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a classic. Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. Well, I'll try and get Buddy to come along to the show,
Hey, the drummer from the chords, man.
Yeah, if he's listening to this, I'll never hear the last of it,
Oh, I don't know. We love the chords. We still think Maybe Tomorrow, one of the best records ever.
Yeah, you know how he plays, right? It's just all rolls, like all the time. Like he never stops rolling. It's the most, he's like the most dynamic out of all those mod drummers, no question about it. He's great, man.
But
that's a nice surprise. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna just sort of break with tradition. I'm gonna sneak in a little bit of Maybe Tomorrow, just for you and just for Buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that made you very happy, didn't it?
That's very heartwarming to hear that, actually. And it's very flattering and it's very surprising, but there is something that's forgotten about that time, because tribalism was really at its height, 79 to 80. There were the chords when we were on the road, we'd meet a lot of punks, and we'd say, "Are you coming to the show tonight?" And they say, "No, we don't dare come because of the trouble." And then there'd be skinheads waiting in ambush for the mods after the shows. But the reason we sold a lot of records was that they were bought by skinheads, punks and mods.
Yeah.
But the shows became more and more mod attended, if you like. Because when we first went on the road, it was supporting the Undertones. And their audience went completely nuts for us.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, the sectionism, is that the right word?
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. Genres, cults and...
Don't use that word. It just became very tribal. And,
yeah. Well, it was just great to chat to them, and they were so enthusiastic, and they even got your drumming style down to a T, didn't they?
Oh, really?
that was a great trip.
Terrific. Are they going to come back? Because I'd love to see
them. I would hope so, because they did go down really well. They seemed to enjoy their time here. I think they went over to Italy and did a couple of festivals, so they were en route to that, and as I said, they went down so well. Definitely had a good time. And it was nice because I know they were looking forward to meeting you at the show, but you were unfortunately overseas, so they couldn't. But you very kindly gave them a signed drum skin,
yes,
and some drumsticks and some Pope Records CDs, and they're all signed, and they were really chuffed with that. And obviously, they've said a huge thank you to you. And it was really nice, you know. I'll put a picture up on the blog on this feature of the.
They've got great hair as well. Still,
yeah, they've still got
fantastic hair.
They've got hair still. It works. But I've got some great photos, and I'll put one of them.
Are we going to hear a Gruesomes track?
Yeah. I'm going to play a track from their latest album when they got back together. They did a great record called Cave In, and this is going to be dedicated to Grant for his help with the podcast, and a great show and a great track. This is Stop It Girl. Well, you know, it was a great track, and you can probably guess what they were like live, you know, from that. That was the
Wild.
Gruesomes. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
With all that hair.
Yeah. Okay, stop going on about the hair, will you?
No.
I did have hair envy, I must admit, you know, bloody hell. But a fantastic track. That was the Gruesomes and Stop It Girl from their Cave In album, which is great. And as I said, that's for Grant, and a big hi to the guys in the Gruesomes. Fantastic.
Hello, Gruesomes.
Yes, thank you. They were so made up, mate. You know, I had to tell them, you know, he's nothing special. He's just a human being like the rest of us. Buddy Ascott.
But he just happens to have a podcast studio in his front room. Oh, sorry, in your front room that looks like my front room.
Yeah, great. Well, it's fantastic. So, well done, buddy. That was must have been nice to hear that compliment from all the way over in Canada.
Very gratifying.
So, what else have you been up to then?
So, last weekend I was in the studio with Pat Collier with Speakeasy, which is sort of the 79ers, but without Kip, and with Mark Le Galley on vocals, Mark Le Galley of The Risk, and many other, Mark the Crowman, many other guys, and we've put 4 tracks down, which are going to be coming out. We're going to whittle that down to 2, and we'll have a single coming out on candy pink vinyl.
Oh.
It's just as soon as we can get in the queue.
Yeah.
Because we were talking earlier about there being a worldwide shortage of vinyl.
Yes.
And why is that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just very few record pressing plants out there, so it's bizarre, you know. It's one of those things that you imagine there will be loads of places churning out these records, but it's very limited. So there's this huge queues now, people trying to get records pressed because the demand is out there. And
wasn't there more demand during COVID when everyone was at home buying records?
Whereas over the COVID, a lot of it was re-releases and things like that. Now bands are getting back in the studio together, they're recording and desperate to get stuff out. And unfortunately, like a lot of these things, it's been ruined by corporate companies, with a huge record labels.
And then there's Record Store Day.
And 2 record store days now.
2?
There's 2 now. There's 2. So you're getting like vinyl released by Adele or things like that, and it's like, and sort of because independent bands and labels are having to sort of take the back seat, which is it's a real shame. Real shame. It's like a lot of things gets corrupted. The original idea is good, but soon gets corrupted. But funny enough, I was over in Sweden earlier this year, and I was taken on this little detour through the back streets of outside Gothenburg.
I'm not sure how this is going to end.
Oh no, it's okay. And I ended up in this recording studio and a vinyl pressing plant in the middle of nowhere. It's Spin Road factory. It's a Spin Road vinyl. It was fantastic. So I actually got to see this coloured vinyl being made, and actually it was all being made for record store days. So there was like Viagra Boys' new album was being made, green vinyl, which I'd actually ordered for myself, mail order. And I saw it being made, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was.
You saw them actually pressing them and cutting the edges.
All this, and it's fantastic to see the process of it.
Yeah,
you get all these bags of vinyl. Looks like little sweets of all vinyl, and it's all moulded down together, and it was really amazing. But to see this pressing plant in the middle of nowhere, in outside, it wasn't even in Gothenburg; it was on the outskirts. Absolutely fascinating.
I think that's better than the EMI factory in Hayes, which is the one that I've visited.
To the guy there, who actually turned out to be an English guy, who was Craig, who was sort of working, and he was telling me how the demand was immense. So, unfortunately, you are in the back of the queue, buddy. Probably like a lot of.
Well, we haven't even finished it yet, so. When it does come out, it's coming out on Mark's label, which is called FAB Records. Yeah. So hopefully we'll talk about that in 6 months' time.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we'll look forward to it, and of course we'll give it a play in the podcast.
If it's good.
Yeah. Have you got any dates lined up? Are you going to sort of play?
No. Mark has now moved to Manchester, which is great because at least he's on the mainland, because he was in the Channel Islands. He's a Guernsey boy. So at least he's only a train ride away rather than a flight.
Yeah.
But we need to finish those 2 tracks, and then we'll start on an album, which will be our 4th.
Fantastic. And then you've got another band that you're working with.
Well, it's not a band.
Ah, right.
Almost. It's a project. So a Chords fan I know called Pete Cole contacted me a year ago and said, would I be available to do a charity show in aid of, read this, Action for Pulmonary Fibrosis. Because a friend of his had died tragically, very young, and he was a bass player in a group called 5 O'Clock High, and also in a group called Vox Pop. And the drummer who was going to do the show, they were going to do a tribute to this chap called Michael Bailey, who I've never met, but he must be a fine gentleman, I think, judging by his friends and the people who remember him. So his brother David is the main man, he's the singer, and I think the main songwriter. But there's also a great guitarist called John Rollinson, or Rollinson.
Henry Rollins.
And his younger son called Ben on bass, who is excellent. He's a heavy metal head, but he's a really, really good bass player, and he behaves himself at the rehearsal anyway. So there was a group called 5 O'Clock High in the mid-80s from Woking, and to me they remind me a little bit of The Moment, that mod revival group. They were a 3-piece, and they played in Woking, and then they started coming up to London and playing, and then they just got disillusioned and split up and reformed as a group called Vox Pop in the early 90s. They're remind me a little bit of the Wonder Stuff, peculiarly English accent with the singing, which I really like. And they don't sound like Paul Weller, they sound like they're from Woking. They don't sound like they're from a tower block in Tower Hamlets. They just sound English, and they sound as they should. And the lyrics are... Well, he sent me the CD. Pete sent me the CD with the songs, and I didn't really want to like them. But in the process of learning the songs for this charity show, I actually fell in love with the songs, and I'd actually like to re-record some of them properly in a studio, because most of them are just rough demos. Yeah. They released one single on Detour, funnily enough, to go full circle, which was a double A side called Pretty Impossible and Core Blimey.
I thought you said they weren't from Tower Hamlets.
No, it's a bloke expressing absolute surprise that a girl was falling in love with him. It's really, really sweet lyrics. It's the songs are terrific. I'm really, really looking forward to playing them.
Oh, great.
So this is at Woking Football Club.
Yeah.
On August the 13th, which is not far away.
Yeah.
Tickets on the door. It holds 200, so it won't sell out. There is a train strike that day, but I don't think South West trains are affected on that day because it's ASLEF and powers for the unions.
Well, we'll definitely put a link up to that, and I suppose the proceeds are going to the charity, are they?
They're all going to the charity, yep. Support comes from the TR5s, who are another local group, and DJ Neil Barker. I'm really looking forward to it. I felt like I was put upon a little bit.
Yeah.
But now I've really got into the songs. I really want to do it, and I really like it. Could you play the Detour single? Let's play Core Blimey, just because it just sounds like it should be great, and it is.
Okay, well, let's hear it. Let's hear Core Blimey.
If I'm not mistaken, she looked at me today. Hey, hey, I'd like to take her out, but each time I speak, my tongue gets in the way. I can't say the things are in my head. I better left unsaid, so I said to myself, just what can I do to make her see? Can't you see? I'm feeling like a child, embarrassed by an elementary vocabulary. The things are in my head, I better left unsaid, so I said to myself, Core Blimey. Cover me, looks like she loves me. Cover me, looks like she loves me. Cover me, looks like she loves me. Cover me.
No, it's really good. Great track. Really like that. Oh, pleasantly surprised. I thought it was, when he said it was Call Blimey, I thought it was going to sound like something like Chaz and Dave meets Fleur or something.
Sham 69.
Yeah. Hersham Cockney Boys. But no, great. It's a really nice bit of 60s influence sort of pop.
It's a great song. Yeah. Just a great song, and I think he's got a really good voice.
Yeah, so that was Vox Pop and Call Blimey. That was the Detour Records single.
Yeah. And I love the last line, which I think is something along the lines of, the only book I've ever read is the 31 under the bed.
Yeah.
That tells a tale. And it also dates it, doesn't it? Yeah. Pre-internet kids, pop pickers. And the good thing is that they're all Spurs fans.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
What, from Woking?
Yeah. You think they'd be Chelsea?
Yeah.
That's cool. But no, it's great.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. So, it seems like you're looking forward to playing that.
Yeah.
I know you thought it was a bit of a chore at first, but it seems like the songs sound good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we'll put links up to the where you can get tickets, and obviously a link to where you can donate to the charity as well, even if you can't make it. So check retrobandblog.com for more information.
There will be the inevitable meat raffle as well. In fact, there's been stuff donated by Nikki Weller, Paul's sister.
Oh, right.
I'm not sure what it is, but there's other stuff pouring in. So
yeah.
But we'll be coming to other charity shows later in the programme.
Well, everybody, we do have. I could let it slip a little bit now. We've got
special guests.
A very special guest coming up, and we've got a very, very special exclusive song, which we're very pleased about. So keep listening. Don't nod off. Keep listening, because you're going to miss something very special if you do. But anyway, more of that later. Just going back, I know we've been looking at what we've been up to. We've been busy. I've been going to loads of gigs, and it's been so long since I've done a podcast. I haven't been chatted about my Undertones gig.
I think you're going to say underwear.
No, that's another podcast we do. Yeah, I'll put a link to that one as well. But of course, one of the first gigs I went to after our last podcast was to see the Undertones at the fantastic Electric Ballroom in Camden, which I hadn't been to for many years, and it hasn't changed.
Is it still crawling with skinheads?
No, luckily.
No,
luckily I hadn't changed other than that, but it was a great venue. And I know you mentioned, and we've talked about this in our previous podcast, about the affinity that you and the Chords had with the Undertones and how important they were. What I'm going to do now, they actually released a compilation of their first two albums that they did, or the two albums they did with Paul McClune as a vocalist. Obviously, he took over after Fergal. And there was like Dig What You Need is the name of the compilation. It's a brand new record. Looks good, out on vinyl and CD. So this was the best of their two Reformation albums, Get What You Need and Dig Yourself Deep. And they've both been sort of digitally remastered, and the band have got involved with the track listing, and they picked the best of both albums. And you actually realise that, you know what, they're still writing bloody great music.
Well, of course, yeah.
You know,
did John and Damien do most of the writing?
Yeah, I think so, pretty much. But absolutely fantastic sort of songs still. And I don't think Paul McClune gets enough credit for his contribution on vocals to the new band.
He's got a fine set of pipes on him.
Yeah, a great singer. I'm going to play one of my favourite songs from this sort of second period of the Undertones, and this is "Dig Yourself Deep."
fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good. And actually segues quite well from the last track by Vox Pop.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
There's a kindred spirit.
Yeah. Classic guitar pop, isn't it?
And it's unmistakably Damien and John on guitars, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. Well, like I said, that's a great example of these excellent new songs, and I really recommend people, if you do think that they obviously they still play all the old classics, Jimmy and Teenage Kicks and everything, but they do put in a few of these new songs, and they do sound fantastic, even alongside all those classics, and recommend you getting that. That's from the album Dig What You Need, the compilation, and it is that was a track called Dig Yourself Deep. And sort of linked up to the Undertones, I finally got to see Baby Shakes, the New York-based power pop band, who I'm a big fan of, and saw them in London at the Pump It Up Power Pop Weekender at the Lexington a couple of weeks ago, and they were fantastic. I was so pleased to get to see them, and also get to meet them for the first time since I did a really nice Retrosonic podcast with them during lockdown, which is well worth a listen. They're huge music fans. I said it was nice to see them, and it was real added bonus was that Damien and Billy of the Undertones were there in the crowd, and they got on stage and joined the band for a run through of Teenage Kicks.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was excellent. And I got a video of that up at the Retro.
I bet it was blog. Joyous, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, the whole thing, because it's power pop, it's great fun, it's just good time, rock and roll, punk rock, tuneful music. It's and when Damien and Billy got on and did Teenage Kicks, it was fantastic. You could hear the crowd. I didn't know about it a little bit beforehand, but you could see the amazement in the crowd. It was really nice to see. And as I said, I've got a video of that captured for posterity at the Retroman blog YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to that as well.
What did the drummer do? Did he play tambourine? I hope he did.
No, he was sort of ousted a little bit.
He didn't walk off the stage, did he?
It's a bit of a shame for the drummer,
He wouldn't have got me off. He wouldn't have shoehorned me out.
No, but it's good. And of course, there is history between the two bands, the Undertones and Baby Shakes. They've been friends for a while. The Baby Shakes have supported the Undertones over in the States. And they did a single, fantastic record, Sweet and Sour, backed by Really Really, which was a B-side that Billy wrote for the Undertones. Yeah. Did a great record on Dimple Discs Records. So Sweet and Sour was a song that Damien did for his solo project with Damien O'Neill and the Monotones. Real glam, stomping track, great record. A wonderful single, A and B, and it was and sort of Billy and Damien played on the record. And it was just so nice to see them together. I got some lovely photos of them all together backstage at the show, and it was just really nice to be there, for them to see each other and chat, and obviously get to see them play. Great experience, great night of live music. It's what it's all about, just unashamed joy. Everyone was happy, enjoying themselves. What could be better?
Nothing. Was it busy?
Oh yeah, packed out. Yeah, round. And so I'm going to play Baby Shake's version of Really Really, and this is out thanks to the band and obviously Mauro and Simon and all the people that did the Pump It Up Power Pop Weekender. This one's for you lot.
I
Well, that was a fantastic version of Really Really, the Undertones B-side by Baby Shakes, and that's on their Dimpled Discs single, a classic record with Sweet and Sour on the other side. That's with a version of Damien's solo song. And Buddy, you were telling us that you would have an affinity with this record.
Well, that is the B-side of my favourite Undertone single, which is Get Over You, which we in the Fallen Leaves I have purloined a little bit for the drumming. And I have to tell you that this weekend I am extremely excited to be going in the studio finally with the Fallen Leaves to make a studio album.
Ah, great news.
Well, we're starting it anyway.
Yeah.
So the Sunday and Monday we are at Bark Studios and hopefully laying down all the backing tracks and the vocals for what will become the Fallen Leaves' 5th studio album.
That's fantastic. Well, that's good news. A nice surprise as well. And the other surprise we mentioned a special guest.
Who's that at the door?
Oh, who's that? Come in. Oh, it's Mr. Rob Green, the Reverend Rob Green of the Fallen Leaves. Hello, Rob. Welcome.
Hello, Steve. Good to see you after a long time.
It is. Lovely to see you again. Yeah. And suitably attired in your cravat and your cane and everything.
Indeed.
Wonderful. And great news about this, the new album. So tell us about it. Have you any sort of hints or any songs that you've got lined up? Or
Well, some of them have been in the set for a while. Obviously, with COVID and everything, it's much delayed. So some of them will be familiar to people who've seen us live, and we're doing another version of Green Eyes FC, which we previously put out as a single, and So Much More. Begin Again. Yeah, so a few that people will know, but there's a ton of new material. To be honest with you, there's enough songs in the pipeline for a 6th studio album. Whether that'll ever get made, who knows? But we're also going to be doing a single as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I think the way it'll work out, it's not entirely finalised yet, but I think the single will probably come out first on a limited edition. We're currently in discussions with someone who might put it out, so I better not say who it is as yet. And then an album, both on vinyl, and then probably we will self-release a CD later down the track and probably put the single on the CD as well, so that everybody can get all the tracks.
Yeah, that sounds good. And where are the studios that you're recording?
Bark Studios in Walthamstow, and it is both literally, not just figuratively, a converted garage. So it suits us right down to the ground.
And you can walk to the new Tottenham Stadium from there in about half an hour.
That is the downside, but never mind.
And is that you've got a producer in to do it, or are you producing it yourself?
We have an engineer. He's the bloke that it's a one man band, and then it's us. So Brian, who owns and runs Bark Studios, he's basically the engineer.
I've never Brian Eno. You've probably heard of him.
Oh yeah.
I've never known what a producer is for.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Now, listen, I'm not saying that everybody should do stuff the way we do it. I'm just saying the way we do it. I think maybe a producer is quite a good idea if you haven't got any ideas of your own, but I wouldn't want a producer to produce. If we can't get the sound that sounds like the Fallen Leaves, there's something wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be great. And have you got any shows lined up to promote the album? Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about whether to promote the album, because there's you probably know this, but I've been told there's a terrible shortage of vinyl.
So this is terrible news to me.
Yeah. Oh, well, we were just discussing this very matter. Yeah.
Oh, were you? So there's a long run in, I gather.
Definitely, yeah.
So that's out of our hands. So, but no, we'll play whether we're promoting an album or not. We'll basically play pretty much if anybody asks us to. Yeah. So we've got.
But we do have a very important.
We have a very important show coming out. I don't know if it's been mentioned already, which is a tribute to Don Craine of the Downliners Sect.
Yeah, this is good news. This is why we wanted to get together with Buddy, and I'm really pleased you could join us to talk about it. Because you might have seen on Retroman blog a couple of days ago, I sort of posted a link about this great afternoon at our favourite venue, which we're just walking distance from, the Half Moon in Putney, and it's Sunday the 21st of August. It's an afternoon matinee show, which is quite unusual, but you said there's a reason for that.
Well, there's a number of reasons for it, but and some of it's just a nice bit of serendipity, because it's very difficult to get the Half Moon on a Friday or a Saturday, and we're putting on the show ourselves. The reason it's difficult to get it on a Friday or Saturday is because it's nearly all tribute bands, so make of that what you will. So a Sunday afternoon was a good option. Actually, the Half Moon suggested it, and I think it might actually be something that comes back. There's some people putting on afternoon shows in Brighton.
Yes, that's right.
Didn't you?
I did, but I saw Baby Shakes down in Brighton on an afternoon show.
Right. Okay. So it's become a thing, but of course it used to be a thing in the '60s. I think at the 51 Club, which was run by Ken Collier, and the Downliners, had a residency there playing matinee shows, and people like the Stones and everybody used to do matinee shows. Yeah. It's a really good idea.
Oh, definitely. I definitely agree, especially when you're getting on like me and I want to get the last train back. It's it's great fun. I think it's definitely an underused part. I mean, there's all these empty venues in afternoons.
But it does interfere with my afternoon nap. That's the only problem.
That's
the downside.
That's true. I'm sure you'll manage it. But it's a fantastic idea. I said that's 21st of August, and tribute to Don Craine, who sadly passed away. And you've got the Fallen Leaves as well.
Yeah.
And the Masonics as well.
So it's all really good friends playing. There'll be a really nice feel to it. This is all people that know each other well, all people that played together well. There's no bumping of egos or about timings or who plays where.
And there's a massive raffle.
And there's a raffle, and it's all for charity. Not a raffle, sorry, an auction. And it's all for Macmillan Cancer, which is what Don's partner Jackie, who I think will be in attendance, and Don's son. That's what they wanted, and we're very happy to help with that. In fact, we even had a lovely message through anti-social media the other day from Macmillan, who'd obviously spotted it, and saying how pleased they were that we were doing it. So there will be an auction. At the moment, it's kind of top secret what some of the auction lots will be, but they will get revealed before the day, and you'll get the wonderful opportunity to see me operating as an auctioneer.
Have you got your gavel?
No, I'm going to use a snare drum and a drumstick.
You have to fight it off Buddy first.
He's going to lend it to me.
I'm renting out to him.
Yeah, well, it's going to be fantastic. I'm so looking forward to it, and it's a great idea. And I know there's going to be some very special items at the auction. So everybody get down there. You're going to see 3 fantastic bands, and of course you and the Masonics have shared the stage with the Downliners Sect over the
Don's
years.
last show in February.
Very sad it was. It was clear he wasn't well, but he died 2 weeks later. So to have played the last show with him.
I mean, what a trooper! He was actually using the inhaler before he went on. He was really struggling, and we put a chair on the stage for him to sit. But he still insisted on playing. I mean, that's fantastic. I don't think I'll be.
And if there was anybody that might have the right to constantly complain that they should have been big pop stars, it would be the Downliners Sect, and they never do. They just
let's get on and do
they
it.
do it for the love of it.
Well, if anyone knows the history, they were sort of contemporaries of the Stones and the Yardbirds and everybody. And
Rod Stewart wanted to be their singer. And Steve Marriott. Yeah, and they said no.
What happened to them? Just disappeared.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's a great thing, and you're organising it yourself.
Well, Rob Simmons has done 98% of the organising. So tribute to him, because as you know, Steve, it's really hard work putting on live shows. It's a thankless task, really.
Yeah. But I think you'll get a lot of thanks for this, I'm sure, and it's going to be a wonderful afternoon. So let's have a think about Downliners Sect. So let's play. I know you're a fan. What would you say is a quintessential Downliners?
Well, I think there's several because the history of the group, if people don't know, is very, very strange, because they were the contemporary. They were there playing at Eel Pie Island and Crawdaddy Club and all Two Eyes, 51 Club, as I mentioned. They were there with everybody, with the Stones, with the Who, with the Kinks. And they managed to commit career suicide by recording a country album as their second album. And they had a massive hit, though, in Sweden with one of my favourite Downliners songs, which is called Little Egypt. And the other one I really like is their version of a song that was written by Lou Reed and John Cale before the Velvet Underground even existed, called Smile Now. Those are my 2 favourite tracks.
Well, let's go for Smile Now.
You didn't care when I begged you to stay. Why don't you smile now? You laughed at me, then you walked away. Why don't you smile now? Why don't you smile again? Smile, whoa, why don't you smile, yeah. Smile, whoa, why don't you smile. Fancy talk, Cadillac car, but his love didn't get you far. Why don't you smile now? You said he had everything you need. He said he could give you more than me. Why don't you smile now? Why don't you smile, yeah? Smile, whoa. Why don't you smile now? Smile, whoa. Why don't you smile now? Oh, man. Cheap wedding dress, high heel shoes. Baby, all you got was blues. Smile now. Now you're back, you want back in. But baby, you just watch me grin. Why don't you smile now? Why don't you smile, yeah? Smile, whoa. Why don't you smile, yeah? Smile, whoa. Why don't you smile now?
That was great. That was Downliners Sect and Why Don't You Smile Now, which is interesting because I didn't know about the Lou Reed and John Cale connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were the first people to cover a Lou Reed, John Cale song in the UK, maybe in Europe, I think, because they were writing basically throwaway pop songs for Pickwick.
Oh, yeah. Great track. And that was also covered by Billy Childish in his the Headcoats Sect combo, where he was with Keith and Don from the Downliners Sect. He got together with Bruce Brand and did a great collaboration on 2 albums.
Yeah.
And they did a version of that as well, which was fantastic. And now we've got a really special, exclusive bit of news.
The big reveal.
Yes. Well, we can reveal here that the Headcoats Sect is actually getting back together. So Billy and Bruce and Keith from Downliners Sect, and they're going to release, a new single later in the year. And I'm very proud to say that we've got an exclusive play of it, and this is the Headcoats Sect, unreleased. This is an exclusive. This is Baker Street Irregulars. that was something special. That was an exclusive play of the brand new Thee Headcoats Sect single, Baker Street Irregulars. What do you think, lads? Was it
very lively, wasn't it?
Yeah. Still got that raw, classic sort of raw sound, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the things I love about the Downliners Sect is that they haven't fallen into that trap of thinking that what you ought to do is progress. Progression is a very overrated thing, in my opinion. You should keep on doing what you do, and you should do it really, really well.
Well, and Billy Childish has certainly been doing that as
well. He's been doing that for a long time. Yeah.
It's great that they're getting back together, and as I said, hopefully that'll be out on Damaged Goods Records later this year. So I'm very pleased to be able to play that for you now.
Is that on vinyl? Do you know?
I would imagine it would be on Damaged Goods, yes.
I think it'll be on vinyl, yeah.
That'll be out on vinyl. But we'll keep you informed on the release date. And thanks to Ian at Damaged Goods for letting us play that. And it's great to see that Billy is still as big a fan as we are.
Yeah. And of course there's a local connection. So the Half Moon is in Putney. And of course, all that British R&B came out of southwest London, particularly around Richmond and Twickenham, which is just a stone's throw from here.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
We were the last. I might have said this once before. The Fallen Leaves were the last people putting on proper live music in Richmond Borough.
Yeah.
And then the pub closed down. No, actually, it's not quite true. The Eel Pie Club do put on occasional things. So to be fair to them, but Richmond Borough really should be doing what Liverpool have done and turned it into, there's a heritage there that could be monetised.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, there's so much musical heritage in this area. But, you've got the great little Eel Pie Island Museum, which is great.
Yeah, Don was I think a trustee or president of that or something like that. He was very involved with that. Yeah. He was recently on the Antiques Roadshow.
Oh, really?
He brought along, after he died, but obviously recorded before he died. He brought along some of the artifacts, things that have been early stuff from the Stones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was lovely to see him.
Yeah.
Steve, have I showed you Hotham Hall?
No.
It's literally 400 yards from here, and that is where Pete Townsend saw Keith Richards doing a windmill.
Oh, really?
And got the idea.
He nicked it.
It's now flats.
Oh.
But I'll show you later. It's.
I didn't know that either. That's fantastic. Well, we'll have to go and have a little musical mystery
tour.
Look it up,
Hotham Hall. Hotham.
It's great. Well, I would also recommend everybody, if you're down in Putney for the Half Moon show on August the 21st, if you've got time, have a look at the Eel Pie Island Museum and
the after show is at Rob Green's house.
Oh yeah, the after show. Yeah. Well, I mean that really is fantastic to hear that track, and so really honoured to be able to play that for you. And I actually, talking about Bruce Brand, and obviously he's in the Milkshakes and many other bands as well. I saw Bruce in Brighton on Saturday night with the Masonics, who are going to be playing at the charity show on August the 21st. It was great to see the Masonics again. Put on a great show as always. And I think we should have a little track from the Masonics now to get us in the mood for August the 21st.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for When You Cry at Night.
That would have been my suggestion.
Great. Yeah. Well, this is for Megan. And you, Rob.
More
a great track by the Masonics. That was When You Cry at Night, taken from their Empty Shell of a Man EP. And so they'll be on the bill at the Don Craine charity show at the Half Moon Putney on August the 21st, along with my two special guests from the Fallen Leaves, Buddy and Rob. And one of my favourite of your more recent tracks was the single that you released, Green Eyes FC, which I understand you'll be re-recording for the new album. I think we should have a little play of the vinyl single version.
And no relation to Get Over You by the Undertones.
No. See if you can spot it. This is The Fallen Leaves and Green Eyes FC. Single version by the Fallen Leaves, which is being re-recorded for your upcoming album. Have you got a new title in mind for the record yet?
No, it's not top secret. We just don't have a title.
There's a few working titles by Jove, but there are going to be a couple of surprises. The 2 or 3 tracks that you will be surprised are the Fallen Leaves. They're so different. They're going to knock your socks off, Steve.
What have you got, like rap? Belgian house or something.
It's more sort of reggae / calypso style.
It's definitely not that.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit like what John Peel said about The Fall when he said they're always different and always the same.
Yeah,
it's a bit like that. You know, it's clearly going to, you know, you'll know it's the Fallen Leaves, but some of the song structures are a bit different. Yeah. But that's not a deliberate choice to be different. And I always find it a bit difficult talking about how the songs come about, because people say, you know, how are they written? Well, they're not even written in the sense of, you know, anything written down, except for the lyrics, which usually come last of all. So, you know, it's what often happens is that I will hear. This is not always the case, but I will hear a song by somebody else and I like the riff, and then I'll try and play that, and then because I'm a very poor guitar player, I can't play it, and I'll come up with something else. So, you know, I just think that music is always reinventing itself, but in a way staying, particularly in beat music, it's the same formula, but there is you know, there's 1,000, 10,000 songs you could write with the same chord structures. In fact, there have been tens of thousands of songs.
You've written 10,000.
We've written numerous songs with the same chord structure, but played in a different order. Yeah. But the really difficult thing, I think, about producing songs, and I don't think you can be taught this, is can you put a melody over the top of it?
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes technically really, really good guitar players are no good at writing songs. Because if you played, I don't know, a New York Dolls song to a really good guitar player and said, "Can you play that?" they're going to play it straight away. Mm. If I hear a New York Dolls song, I think, "Oh, that's good," and I play it, I'm going to play something different.
Yeah.
So that's often how it works. But we do also put in deliberate homages to things, like when we did the podcast with you a long time ago, and we talked about the song "Is She Somewhere," and we deliberately put in a Who reference at the end, where Rob in the studio said, "I saw you." Now that's a deliberate reference to the Who, and we often have those little things in songs, and sometimes people pick up on them, and sometimes they don't, which is fine. We don't do it for them anyway; we do it for us.
Yeah, but that's the night. I think music fans like that sort of thing, don't they? You know.
Oh, there'll be a few more Who references on this album.
Yeah. I think real music fans like that sort of reference points that they can pick up on. You know, it's always good fun. It's like it's a nod to the past, but you're not. You know, it's just doing it in a different way with a bit of humour.
Well, I think Billy summed it up once when he was doing a rather ill-tempered interview with an interviewer. I don't think he really understood him. And the interviewer said to him, "That's not very original, Billy, is it?" And Billy lost his temper. But he said, "Of course it's not original. It's not supposed to be original." He said, "But what it is authentic."
Yeah, it's true.
And I think, that's a pretty fair comment, I think.
Yeah. Well, I must say it's been fantastic having you both here. Thank you.
Thanks for the invite, Steve. It's always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure, and it's always a particular pleasure to be talking to people who do it for the love, which I know you do.
Because God knows no one's going to pay you for this.
Aren't you? You haven't got my invoice yet. Yeah, well, there's, as I said, lots going on. So keep a check on retromanblog.com, where you can keep up on all the news, on all the gigs I've been to recently, and I've got a few podcasts on the go as well at the moment, so look out for those. And I'd just like to say thank you very much to Buddy.
You're welcome.
And Rob, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Steve. It's a pleasure to see you as always.
Yeah, and don't forget, check out retromanblog.com, and I'll put links to all the gigs and I'll put links to the charity show on the 21st of August, the Don Craine tribute and charity show. So it's a tribute to his music as well, and it's going to be great. And to play us out, talking of sort of like 60s bands I think tended to get overlooked, I went to see Love Revisited at the Garage in London a couple of weeks ago, which features Johnny Echols, the original Love guitarist, and it was one of those really magical moments. You know, he's got the band Baby Lemonade are playing with him, who actually played with Arthur Lee before Arthur Lee passed away, and they did the Forever Changes concert. So the band are on form, they're fantastic. And there was just one of those special nights of music where everyone was there. They played all the Forever Changes and a pick of all their sort of best songs as well. One of my favourites actually wasn't from Forever Changes, it was She Comes in Colours from Da Capo, and I think we're going to play out on that. So thanks for listening, everybody. This is Love and She Comes in Colours.
A thought in my head, I think, of something to do. Expressions tell everything. I see one on you. Whoa, 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 whoa. My love, she comes in colors. You can tell her from the clothes she wears. When I was invisible, I needed no light. You saw right through me, you said. Was I out of sight? Whoa, 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 whoa. My love, she comes in colors. You can tell her from the clothes she wears. Whoa, 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 whoa. down.